hey, I brought this up earlier. You were our first ever chairman of the KFCA elected council. And, looking back on it, I think sometimes we take for granted that we played football fall of 2020. But man, that was a tough deal. And I just want to ask you. So, what was the role of the council in helping us have a high school football season in the fall of 2020? Can you tell our listeners a little bit about the role of the elected council in pulling that off?
Yeah, I think when we first started talking about getting with the council, it was one that as football coaches, we wanted to be a greater stakeholder in some of the decisions that are made across the state, in particular about football. Football in the state of Kentucky it's a unique situation. Obviously, you fight the stereotype that it is a basketball state, and it is a basketball state. I mean, people love basketball here, but I think as colleges have had more success in football, and we see the quality of football that you have. There are so many pockets and communities within the state that value their football and their football program. And so at times, we felt like we just wanted to have necessarily not all decision-making power, but a greater voice with the state in terms of things that would be more appropriate for football within our state. And I think that we've started to make headway with that. But the council was, we have our KFCA elected representatives, but the council was really charged with, for each class, having 2 representatives per class, and really gauging the voice of those coaches that are within each classification, and try to help have a unified voice and what is best for football in our state. And as we got through it, we knew obviously during the COVID year, the one thing that you can't ever do with anything is remove hope.
Say hello to summer with hot deals on gorgeous floors from Right Rug Flooring. You'll find savings on carpet, luxury vinyl, tile, and hardwood, all backed by our right price guarantee. Our experts will bring deep savings and our unmatched selection to you. Schedule a free in-home estimate at riterug.com. Find us online and get started today. Right Rug Flooring's Hello Summer Sale. Huge savings.
Right here, right now.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
And I think early on, especially with the pandemic and how everything was going, hope was dwindling quickly. And all we wanted was just an opportunity to see if we could get it done, to see if we could get it up off the ground and make that thing fly. And as we got together, we looked at documents from Tennessee, Ohio, West Virginia, and try to see how those states were trying to implement kind of policy and procedures during the pandemic. And, we wanted to get a unified voice to say, hey, if we're going to have an opportunity to do this, if we want a shot of playing football this year, we all got to kind of be beaten to the same drum right here. And really, we got some data from all the schools to see how our programs in particular were being affected. At that time, there was so much information going around about whether outside sports, were negatively or positively impacted. And we really, I think we've got some pretty solid data to say that not that the pandemic was non-existent, it was still very much existent within our sport, but it was maybe not as significant as it was with indoor sports or other things like that. And I know just dealing with my team in particular, it's tough. The social aspect of those negative impacts that you can have with not having the social outlet, is difficult. And football is so finite. for so many people. You only get so many opportunities to play, and you have a senior night or have a homecoming or whatever it is. And we just didn't want our kids to, collectively around the state to not at least get an opportunity. Now, if things didn't work out, they didn't work out, and we understand, but we at least just wanted to try. Just give us an opportunity to try. And I think that's a beautiful thing about football is, you got to tee it up anyways. And so let's just let's give ourselves a chance and see what we can do.
Before we continue on that, I just want to tell all of our listeners, Mark, in addition to being our leader, he did a lot of the technology. He was able to do the surveys. Our council got excellent participation from staffs across the state. Mark put together that graphic, and I tell you what, I really thought your work and that research sort of flipped the script, because you sort of gave us a way to say, hey, the best way to control COVID in the state of Kentucky, you need to be playing high school football and go to a football workout, because the numbers were incredible. And I just thought you did a great job. And I would say this too, my dad's an old high school coach. I've been around high school football my whole life. But I really felt like the summer of 2020, I thought that was our finest hour as football coaches and players, the way everybody pulled together, worked together, and just the incredible job they did in navigating that. And I just, that was a great time. And Mark, you were a huge part of that.
It was real impressive, David, with the stuff that he put together, the surveys, the data, all of that stuff was really well done and organized and really put together. And I think that kind of helped you present to the Kentucky High School Athletic Association in our fight to get it done.
I agree. And if the data had not been so good, I'm not sure how it would have played out, but we had great data. And then, again, Coach Clark had a great method for communicating that data, because it was sort of tough. I know it was for me to understand, initially exactly what it meant, but our coaches and players did such a good job. Mark, we've sort of been looking